Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got an interesting video. So I recently squatted this. That's right, I squatted a TRX4 Blazer. I did an absolute insane squat. I'll put a link to that video in the description. But the problem with that version 1 squat was that you couldn't steer because I used these big ol' HPI shocks for my HPI Savage, and they were so big you had to disconnect all the steering stuff to actually fit them on there. But this time I've got a fully functional squatted TRX4, and I'm going to show you guys how I did it. So as you can see, steering works just fine. All the steering parts are connected there. Now, my original plan was to lower the entire truck because then it would give it a great center of gravity for trail trucking. Now, the problem I ran into was that this steering arm right here, it hits the actual frame right there. So I couldn't do that because it would not go. It would just be like my insanely version 1 squatted truck. It wouldn't be able to steer, and therefore it's absolutely useless for looks only. But so I did do a little video on this a while ago, on the driving characteristics and, you know, how it felt. And just this squat actually did really good. I can drift this truck. That's right, I can drift a TRX4 with that big, heavy on the back body, and it doesn't roll quite as easily as it used to. It still rolls, but not very easily anymore, which is great because that is a huge problem with TRX4s, is that they roll over very, very easily. But anyway, so what I had to do is I had to take off the battery box. I had to take off the whole thing and then just pop it on here and screw it on with these screws. And as you can see, this is above the frame rail instead of inside of it now, the little screw slot. So the reason I had to do that was because otherwise the axle started hitting up against the battery box. Other thing I had to do is, of course, I had to, you know, replace the shocks because that's how I got it lowered. But another thing I had to do is I had to raise this, I had to take this piece down here. So it's normally right here, and again, this was hitting against that too. So I had to unscrew it, and it was like 3 screws, and then I had to move it back. And you do have to move it back to the point where it's not going to hit the axle, but you can still screw on this mud guard thing right here, because this holds on the shocks and the body post. So I just made it have 1 screw instead of 2, and it actually worked. And suspension works. Only problem is tires rub, as you can see very clearly right here. But yeah, diff locks, those are functional. It drives, and yeah, it's very drivable. So if you guys want to do this to your truck, if you want to make a trail truck, this is actually a pretty good way to do it. I'm not even a huge fan of squatted trucks, but the reason I like this squatted is because it's a little bit of squat, and so it actually kind of looks nice. Not nice, but it kind of looks a little bit cool, because it's not an insane level of squat. And also, it makes the driving characteristics 100 times better. Obviously, it sucks for crawling because you have absolutely no breakover angle, and you have like zero departure angle, and it just sucks. But you can do stoppies with this thing. Yeah, you heard me. You can do stoppies with a TRX4, and you can hold them for a decent amount of time too. and you can drift it and you can trail truck it. And so I'm going, now that I've showed you guys how I've done it and why the heck I did it. It wasn't that hard either, but yeah, now I'll let's get some footage of it actually driving. Alright guys, so you can actually lower it all the way and it looks absolutely epic, but the only way to do that is to unscrew the shock adjusters all the way so that the shocks bottom out, so you won't have any suspension if you do this. But nonetheless, the thing looks freaking awesome and it handles really good. So this, it's lowered right now and it actually handles incredibly, like just so nice. Alright guys, so you might have just noticed some pretty insane tire rubbage. And literally all it is this tiny little edge right here on each side. So I'm just gonna cut off the slightest bit right there. Not too much though, because I don't want to ruin the looks, but you know, just a tiny little bit so that my wheels won't be rubbing against there constantly. There we go. And you know what? That'll probably do the trick, but it's so little you can hardly tell that it's gone. Okay, so
there's only one cell of power.
Now I've
restart.
Reverse squatted it. And it looks really stupid now.
It's no travel.
Like, it works as long as you're okay with destroying your drive shaft.
Hey.
The flex is pretty good. I gotta lie, the flex is pretty good. Alright guys, so I don't have the Blazer with me right now, but we turned it back obviously because it's meant for crawling mostly. So But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a blast with this video. I was actually very surprised with the results and how well that squatted TRX4 worked. So please consider liking and subscribing to see more, and I'll see you guys on the next one.